Hello. In this particular lecture, I'll tell you more on structure. Basically, I'll solve one more problem for you. And before that, let me tell you that in the last lecture, we have developed one structure for matrix. And that particular structure is basically doing what? It is adding and subtracting two matrices. So now you must be wondering that why we have used static, why the const is not working. Basically, what we want a guarantee that the size, or basically the shape of the matrix m cross n should not change, and this static will give us this particular guarantee that it will remain constant for at the level of structure itself. So what will happen once you create this particular matrix M1, let's say A or B, so it will not create two separate copies of this M and N for matrices A and B. Instead, it will do what? It will make M and N structure level constants. So static means only one shared copies for M and N will be there available for every object, and hence this M and N will become a constant for each and every structure or instance of this particular structure matrix. So that is why we have used static here. Now let us do what? Let us in this particular lecture, let us write a structure for a student, and the student must be having the name, roll number, and let's say it is having 3 subject marks. So how to write a structure for it? So hash include iStream, then using namespace standard, then int main, and inside, oops, what has happened? Okay, now inside this return 0. Now what I want basically a student. So if you look how a student look, let's say this is the one, S is my student, and I should be able to transfer data to it. That means I should be able to get data for it. So get data, and then once data is supplied, I should be in a position to display it. So display data. Okay, now my student structure should have these two functionalities with it. Okay, so let us make one structure, and this is student, student. Okay, now this is having 3 data members. What are they? First one is the name. Now name should be string, so let us make it of string data type. So for that, what is required? For this, I will be requiring basically, where I have string as the header file. So we are using string class here so that we can handle these strings properly. Now apart from this, it should have one roll number. Okay, apart from this, it should have marks, let's say marks of 3 subjects. Now this is all. If I have to stick to C, then this is my structure, that's it. But I am extending it one step further and I am moving to C++. So what it should have? It should have this functionality get data. Okay, so let us make this function void get, I have copied already, get data. Now inside get data, I will be asking for what? I will be asking for the name and the roll number and the marks. So let us do it. Cout, enter name. Now as the name must be containing spaces, so I can say get line and then cn and then name. Okay, so far so good, no problem. Now cout, enter roll number. Okay, so cn roll number. Now I am purposefully doing it wrong. Okay, so that I can show you where I am wrong, and in the future you can remember it that this should be done. Okay, now see out and then enter marks. Now marks means marks of three subjects. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll run a loop. So for int I0, I less than 3, I plus plus, as three subjects are there. So inside I will be saying enter marks in subject, and which subject? First subject, let's say. So that is I plus 1, and then that's it. So I can write it. Okay, we can write here itself. So what is this? Cn, and then marks, and then ith subject marks. Now this is all in the get data. So now get data function will transfer the name, roll number, and the marks of three subjects here. So far so good. Now what is required? I also required one function known as display. So void display, what is the correct name? Display data, or only, let us say only display is the name. So what it will display? Display this particular student's data, so will not be requiring any arguments. So I can say see out in the new line, let's say name, and give some space, and here name, and then NL, and then see out, then roll number, and roll number, NL, and then see out marks. Okay, now marks, basically marks in three subjects, isn't it? So I have to run again a loop. So for int 0, I less than 3, I plus plus, and then see out marks, yes, marks, and this is ith subject marks, and then some space. That's it, done. And after it you come to the next line. Okay, see out and L. Why I am coming to the next line will get clear to you once we run this code for more number of students. Okay, so far I am having it. Let us see whether I have done it correct or not. So if I run it, so it will run. So enter the name. Let's say the name of the student is Pankaj Dumka, and the roll number is 12, and first subject he has got 25 out of 50, then 30, and then let's say 26 out of 50. So the name of the student has been displayed, his roll number and the marks. Very good, no problem. Now so far the program is running very beautifully, but now look what is the problem. Let's say in my class there are two students. Okay, then for int I less than 3, I plus plus, I have to do what? I have to get data for every student. So I, in the similar way, what I have to do, I have to display data for these students. Okay, so this SI. Now this particular handle will do what? Once everything is printed for the first student, then the control comes to the next line by default. And this will do what? This will create one more line. So in this way, what will happen? The whole display will shift down, and you will be able to differentiate between two students. But there is a problem. The problem is with the get data, and this problem can only be understood once I run this particular code. So if I run it, so name of student, very good. Let's say Pankaj Dumka is the name of a student, roll number let's say 12. The marks are let's say 25, 26 and 27. No problem. Now, what has happened? Now you look, I have entered the name, roll number, and marks of first student, but the program is not taking the name of this particular student. Which student? The second student. The question is why? Why it is directly jumping to roll number? Let's say it is 12, and then marks of second is 90, 35, and 29. It doesn't matter. Now this is doing what? Giving some garbage value, doing some absurd. Now this is doing some absurd thing because of this particular scene present inside the get line. What happens? This scene do what? It will create basically after this particular the scene in every case will do what? It will create a new line by default in the buffer, and this new line, once the program run, so this again that new line is already there in buffer, so once it sees that new line character, so it takes that new line and it takes that new line as if the name has been supplied, so that's why it is not taking anything. So this is the problem. So how to handle this? And if I don't want to do much juggling, then we can use this get line for taking every data. So how that can be done? So let's say I am declaring one string variable t, that is temporary variable here. And here instead of saying that give roll number, I will say give this t, but not like this. I will say get line cin comma t. Now it is taking that particular string, and then I am transferring that string to the roll number. But if I transfer it like this, but roll number is integer, so what I have to do is I have to typecast it from this string to integer. So there is a function called string to integer, and once this temporary variable t, which is a string, is supplied to this function, so it will get converted into integer. Very simple. Okay, so now once we are here, here also we have to do the same thing. So this is marks. So what I'll do is I'll say get line and cn t, this temporary, and then I'll say marks of ith student is string to, now it is float. Why? Because this is float. Okay, so string to float, what is that? T. Done. Now this particular slight change will help you in that particular case of buffer. Okay, so if you run it now, now the name is, let's say, Pankaj Dumka, and the roll number, let's say 12, 10, 23, let's say 43. These are marks, and now you can see the second student name is there. So let's say the second student name is Manoj Dubey. So the roll number, let's say, is 7, and the marks in subject 1, let's say it is 10, then it is 20, and then say it is 50. Again you are facing some problem. Now what is the problem now? There are several problems basically in this particular program, but one problem you have already taken care of. What is that? Previously it was not taking this name, so what you have done is you have taken this temporary variable to handle the problem. So temporary variable has solved this particular problem for you. Okay, now when it comes to the execution here in the display part, so let us see what mistake we have done, and let us also check that what can be the correction for it. So this is all, this is si, then get data, then this is also okay. So you know what is the major problem with this program? Now basically this part is over, but what is the problem here? The problem is 2. Yes, we are only having 2 students, so how can I write 3 here? So now if I say Pankaj Dumka and then roll number 12, let's say 10, 10 and 10, then Manoj Dubey, and let's say roll number 8, and then 15, 15, 15. So now you can see that we are having our desired result. So the takeaway from this particular exercise is whenever you are taking the string, you can pass it, but that buffer will be there for, for others, for others to get rid of that, what you do, you make it uniform throughout. You take every variable as a the data as a string only, and then convert it into integer and then transfer it to the variable. So this will make the task very easy, and at the same time this will help in getting the correct value for the correct variable. And and in this particular case, we have done one mistake, that is very silly mistake indeed. That is, we have taken two students and we are asking for three, so this sometimes happens. So I hope now you know how to write decent structures, and in this way, if you practice more, then your understanding of structures will grow. So thank you very much in this particular lecture till this point only. Take care.